You know that annoying moment when you're carrying too much? The wind is cutting across your face, and you just need your hands to work for 2 more seconds. Now put yourself on a cliff at Lyme Regis, with the sea chewing at the rock and a fossil half exposed in the mud. That was Mary Anning's workplace. She was born in 1799, grew up in a family that sold fossils to survive, and when her father died and she was about 11, she kept going because the bills didn't care about status. By about 12, she had already found the first correctly identified ichthyosaur skeleton. 12. That's not a side note. That is a kid in a hard job changing what science thought was possible. And the reason that find mattered is bigger than cool old bone. The ichthyosaur was a marine reptile, not a dinosaur, and it came out of the early Jurassic rocks along the Jurassic Coast, the Blue Lias, and Charmouth mudstone, layers that date back roughly 201 to 174 million years ago. So the fossil wasn't just an object. It was evidence that the world had held whole kinds of animals no living person had ever seen. That is how extinction starts to feel real. Then she kept going. In 1823, she uncovered a nearly complete plesiosaur. In 1828, a pterosaur turned up there too, the first found in Britain outside Germany. She also found fossil fish, and those mattered because they helped scientists compare body plans across species and time, which is how deep history stops being a guess and starts becoming anatomy plus evidence. Have you ever noticed how the planet is full of clues hiding in plain sight? Mary was the person who kept picking them up. There's one detail I love because it's so weirdly perfect. William Buckland used her ichthyosaur fossils to identify coprolites, fossilized feces. Yes, fossil poop became a scientific breakthrough. Science, as usual, was very serious about being impressed by something disgusting. And that tells you a lot about what Mary was doing. She wasn't just collecting pretty relics. She was helping people read ancient ecosystems, one clue at a time. She could clean, prepare, and sketch specimens, and she knew enough anatomy and stratigraphy to match fossils to the layers they came from, which is exactly the kind of careful work that turns "look what I found" into actual knowledge. The part that still lands hard is the credit. She sold fossils to museums and private collectors across Britain and Europe, and her specimens ended up in the hands of people like Georges Cuvier, William Buckland, and Henry de la Beche, who built published arguments from her work. But the name on the paper was often theirs, not hers. That's not a small oversight. That's the whole structure deciding who counts as an expert. Mary was working class, a woman, and a dissenting Protestant in a world where access to scientific societies and university training was tightly gated. The Geological Society didn't admit women until 1904. So she did the work anyway. No applause, no seat at the table, just the fossils. And yet her influence didn't stay local. Modern historians now treat her as a key figure in the professionalization of paleontology because she helped push fossil hunting away from curiosity collecting and toward a discipline built on anatomy, strata, and deep time. She was recognized more fully after her death in 1847. And later honors even named taxa after her, like Anningasaura. That matters because it's not just about one person getting her due. It's about the way knowledge actually gets made, by people who notice things early, work carefully, and don't always get the credit they earned. So if you picture Mary Anning on that cold cliff with the wind in her sleeves and the fossil still in the stone, you're looking at the moment science changed its mind. And it forgot to write her name down.